Greece's great king, Alexander's rise to power. In the shadowed hills of ancient Macedonia, beneath the vigilant eye of Mount Olympus, a young prince was born whose destiny would be etched into history. Alexander III, known today as Alexander the Great, came into the world on July 20th, 356 BCE, as the son of King Philip II and Queen Olympias. His birth marked the beginning of a journey that would see him rise not only as a powerful king of Greece but also as one of the greatest military strategists the world has ever known. From an early age, Alexander was molded by an unusual blend of parental influence, royal expectations, and personal ambition. His mother, Olympias, was a deeply spiritual and determined woman, known to follow the rituals of the Orphic Mysteries, and she instilled in Alexander a sense of divine purpose. She frequently reminded him that he was descended from Zeus through Achilles, the legendary Greek hero of the Trojan War. These stories filled Alexander's imagination with a sense of greatness and instilled in him the belief that he was destined for an extraordinary life. On the other hand, Alexander's father, King Philip, was a warrior and tactician of unmatched skill, revered for his military reforms and his creation of the Macedonian phalanx, a formidable military formation that would later become Alexander's instrument of conquest. Philip's vision was to expand Macedonian influence over the Greek city-states, and he worked relentlessly toward a united Greece. But his ambitions were halted when he was assassinated in 336 BCE, thrusting the 20-year-old Alexander onto the throne at a time of uncertainty. The young king and his ascent. When Philip was murdered, the stability of Macedonia hung in the balance. The surrounding Greek city-states saw an opportunity to break free from Macedonian dominance, and rival factions within the Macedonian court threatened Alexander's claim to the throne. However, Alexander quickly proved he was more than ready to wear the crown. In a series of swift and decisive actions, he eliminated any immediate threats to his rule, ensuring that his father's legacy would continue through his own ambitions. One of his first moves as king was to reassert control over the Greek city-states that were showing signs of rebellion. He acted quickly and decisively, sending a clear message that, despite his youth, he would not tolerate insubordination. When Thebes, one of Greece's most influential city-states, openly rebelled, Alexander led his army in a swift and brutal campaign against the city. Thebes was razed, its citizens sold into slavery, and its lands divided among other cities. The destruction of Thebes sent shockwaves through Greece, demonstrating the consequences of defying the young king. While his methods were harsh, Alexander's actions brought stability to Greece and established his authority. Most Greek city-states submitted to his rule, recognizing his strength and determination. With Greece pacified, Alexander turned his gaze toward an even greater prize, the vast Persian Empire. Philip had once dreamed of conquering Persia, but it was Alexander who would take on this monumental challenge. Preparation and the influence of Aristotle. Before embarking on his legendary campaigns, Alexander was fortunate to receive an education that was unparalleled for his time. Philip had hired the renowned philosopher Aristotle to tutor the young prince, believing that an educated mind was essential for a ruler. Aristotle taught Alexander subjects ranging from science to ethics, literature, and philosophy. Under Aristotle's guidance, Alexander developed a deep appreciation for Greek culture, science, and the arts, which later influenced his ambitions to spread Hellenic culture across his empire. Aristotle's teachings, however, also imbued Alexander with a sense of Greek superiority, a belief that he would carry into his conquests. Yet Alexander's vision went beyond Aristotle's influence. He sought to unify diverse cultures rather than merely impose Greek ideals upon them. This vision of cultural integration would shape Alexander's approach to governance in the lands he would conquer. Crossing into Asia and the first conquests. In 334 BCE, Alexander crossed the Hellespont with an army of around 35,000 troops, marking the beginning of his campaign against Persia. His first major battle came at the river Granicus, where he faced Persian satraps and their Greek mercenaries. Alexander led from the front, personally charging into the Persian lines and narrowly escaping death as he broke through the enemy's defenses. His daring and bravery inspired his soldiers, who fought with renewed vigor and routed the Persian forces. The victory at Granicus established Alexander as a formidable military leader and opened Asia Minor to his advancing army. After Granicus, Alexander marched through Asia Minor, liberating Greek cities under Persian control and establishing Macedonian governance. The Persian Empire was vast, wealthy, and powerful, but Alexander was determined to conquer it. His next major challenge came at the Battle of Issus in 333 BCE, where he faced King Darius III of Persia. Darius commanded a much larger army, but Alexander's tactical genius and disciplined troops once again prevailed. The battle ended with Darius fleeing the battlefield, leaving behind his family and royal treasures. Alexander's victory at Issus was a pivotal moment in his campaign. Not only did he secure control over Asia Minor, but he also gained a psychological advantage over the Persian king, who was now viewed as weak and cowardly. By treating Darius's captured family with respect, Alexander demonstrated his willingness to honor his enemies, a move that earned him admiration even among the Persians. Into Egypt, the founding of Alexandria and the path to divinity. After Issus, Alexander moved southward, toward Egypt. His campaign was a careful balance of military might and diplomacy. When he reached Egypt in 332 BCE, he was welcomed as a liberator from Persian rule. The Egyptians, weary of Persian domination, saw Alexander as a new and benevolent ruler. During his time in Egypt, Alexander founded the city of Alexandria, which would become one of the most important cultural and intellectual centers of the ancient world. Alexandria was strategically located along the Mediterranean, serving as a gateway between East and West and symbolizing Alexander's vision of a united empire. In Egypt, Alexander visited the Oracle of Ammonius at Siwa Oasis, where he was allegedly proclaimed the son of Zeus Ammon, a syncretic deity combining Greek and Egyptian religious beliefs. This proclamation reinforced Alexander's belief in his divine mission and strengthened his authority over his followers. By aligning himself with both Greek and Egyptian gods, he began to build an image of a ruler who transcended traditional boundaries, paving the way for his acceptance by diverse cultures within his expanding empire. The march toward Persia's heartland. With Egypt under his control, Alexander turned his sights on the heart of the Persian Empire. In 331 BCE, he confronted Darius again at the Battle of Gaugamela, a massive confrontation near the Tigris River. Despite being vastly outnumbered, Alexander's strategic brilliance led to a resounding victory. Darius fled once more, and Alexander continued his march deeper into Persian territory, eventually capturing the capital, Persepolis. The fall of Persepolis was both a symbolic and practical blow to Persia, signaling the end of Persian power and the dawn of a new era under Macedonian rule. Consolidation and the quest for unity. Though he had achieved remarkable success, Alexander was far from satisfied. His ambition stretched beyond military conquest. He envisioned a world united under his leadership, with Greek culture serving as a foundation upon which other traditions could build. He encouraged his soldiers to marry local women, adopted elements of Persian dress, and began to introduce Greek culture, philosophy, and governance throughout his empire. However, not all of Alexander's followers shared his vision. Some of his Macedonian officers resisted these cultural integrations, viewing them as betrayals of Greek values. But Alexander remained steadfast, believing that his empire's strength lay in its diversity. By blending Greek and Persian cultures, he sought to create a new world order, one that would outlast his own lifetime. Legacy of a conqueror. Alexander's rise to power was a testament to his intelligence, courage, and relentless ambition. In just over a decade, he transformed from a young prince of Macedonia into a king who ruled over one of the largest empires in history. His victories in Greece and Persia not only reshaped the political landscape of the ancient world but also set the stage for the Hellenistic era, a period marked by the fusion of Greek and Eastern cultures. Though he died young at 32, Alexander's legacy endured long after his death. The cities he founded, the cultural exchanges he fostered, and the empire he built continued to shape the world for centuries. He was more than a conqueror. He was a visionary who sought to create a world bound by knowledge and cultural harmony. Alexander's rise to power was only the beginning of his story, but it laid the foundation for an empire that would inspire generations to come.